I love you, Sam. Novelina's on.
And we have the same hairstyle today.
It's always a fun day for me.
What's up, co-host?
Hanging out with the TV.
Me too. It's so
Oh,
fun to kind of reread this every week and kind of go through this again. It's like a whole new experience, huh?
oh, it's completely different from my answers 5 years ago.
I know.
Like,
I'm reading this. I'm like, oh, the game has definitely up leveled here.
oh, conversation is definitely different.
Well, we're on top of the hour, so I welcome every beautiful woman and soul who is tuning in now and in the future. This is currently week 8 of the Rising at the Total Female Package, which is a personal book club for you to learn about all the reflections in your life, hosted by myself and Valerie. And so we are looking for, and I'm Novelina, and so looking forward to actually diving in. Last week, we talked about reflecting your reflection in the now and what that looked like for being super present in your life. And I had a cool experience over this weekend where I surprised my mom and flew her and my dad in, and we did her birthday celebration at the house and got to bring, some of my girlfriends over of young babies and got to do the whole pool thing. And it was so nice to just put the phone away, put all the technology away, and just be super present. And so how many times throughout the day are you actually doing that for yourself and getting to know your own creation and way of being in each moment? It really provides and opens the opportunity for you to get to know yourself when you're really, really present with each moment. So that's part of Rising the TFP. This week, Valerie and I are going to dive into Mirror 8, which is reflecting your giving heart. And the quote here is around learning to give to yourself first allows your heart to authentically be open to give to others forever. So I love that quote by Denise Kennedy. She is a mentor in my life and an amazing TFP who's been rocking her world now and in business with her parents and has helped hundreds of thousands of people in the health business. And what she says rings so true. When you are able, it's if you've not heard of this yet before, but that quote around when your cup overfloweth, then you're able to really be amazing service for other people. So one of the key things around supporting your giving heart is learning that when you have an opportunity to be in that space of ultimate self-love, then like your heart is just totally overflowing. When you're giving that to yourself, then you're able to overflow in what you can give to others. And that's a key ingredient in manifesting all the other things that you want in your life. Is one of the concepts of this is really understanding the flow of giving and receiving. And you notice that when you start to give without expectation, how much more in your world you start to receive. So that's one of the key takeaways from this mirror. So we'll start here on page 84. When you give with love, the door to abundance is expanded and the opportunities for you to become a more vibrant you are at your doorstep. So the TFP carefully chooses the words in each sentence. When we talk about you becoming more vibrant you, the vibrancy, the higher elevation of vibration that you are in each moment is what allows the other things to come to you in your world, in your life. It's like a science. And so these are some of the things that we want you to pay attention to as you begin to rise into more of this essence and idea of you're already the total female package. So I'm going to actually send it over to Val right now, who's going to go into the next part of the opening of this mirror.
This is another powerful mirror, as they all are individually powerful and within themselves. One of the highlighted quotes here in Mirror 8 is giving opens the door to receiving abundance. And so, that right there in terms of just having an open heart and challenging yourself to have an open heart at every moment. Because, at times that in itself can be difficult. So, finding a place to come, whatever circumstance, situation, that you're in your life, finding a place to come from love. When you can find that place that you're coming from love, then any interaction that you're having or confronting or dealing with, you're dealing at it at its highest vibration. And I love the quote that you shared, when the cup is overfloweth. There's one that my grandfather used to share with me a lot, that says, physician, heal thyself, and therefore you can heal others. Mm-hmm. And so, when I think, heal, you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm not sick. Well, you just turn that around. Physician, love thyself. And when you can love thyself, you can truly love others. And you're just overflowing with that to where, you're not keeping count of what it is that you're giving. And we'll definitely jump into that. And looking at, listing, think of 3 ways you can give today and list them. And so, the chapter talks something as, we've talked about this also before previously in the mirrors, of giving something as simple as a smile.
Totally.
Like I was at the grocery store the other day, just smiling and with the cashier and joking with him, and he used his employee discount to give me a hit off my bill. Took $11 off, and I was like, oh, cool. And you don't know what that other person is at. So when you can share something as simple as a smile and say, how are you, or how's your day? Are you almost out of here? And you don't know what opens up. And I was happy to receive that discount, because I love discounts.
Me too.
So, for me, I'm like, yes, I just saved $11.
Totally.
And with no expectation of giving a smile, what I got in return, when, some things like that, if not more abundantly, abundance can flow into your life. That's just one occurrence that I think of, within this past week. And I was like, hey, I was being really nice to the cashier, just smiling. And even though I'm all sweaty out of the gym, and he said, here's a little something for you. And I was like, oh, great. So, thinking, when you can write it down though, and you can think of 3 ways, that you can give today or tomorrow, what that will open up for your life. So, I'm going to pass it back to Nove. Okay. And, in just terms of, I have even more stories for this that we can go on and on. So.
And one of the things you shared too around, giving and thinking about 3 ways that you can give. What I realized is that it's like I mentioned earlier about the science, it's like the law of physics, cause and effect. And it's very similar what happens in the frequency and the vibration between giving and receiving. And when you actually are giving, you grow. Like I remember Tony Robbins saying this at a conference one time, and I was watching him speak for the first time ever. So when you give, you grow. And that made so much sense to me, because I was like, oh my gosh, when you're actually giving of your time, your energy, your love, your respect, your encouragement, and you are doing that authentically so that others can receive that energy from you, it's like your karma bank account, your self-love bank account is starting to grow. And so when you can practice giving in an authentic way, not to give just to get, because you're like, oh, well, if I give today, then I'm going to get something back from the universe. That's not the kind of frame of mind. It's like more of like that energy, that natural energy of how natural it feels to give. so that when you are walking down the street, whether it's a homeless person who's asking for $5, or it's your mom and you want to surprise her and help her have a really fun birthday, or when you do those acts of kindness just naturally, and you are in the place of being in your core element of delivering that kindness based out of this open heart that you have, oh my gosh, then all of a sudden you start to see these things unfold, and all of a sudden you're getting like, wow, experience $11 off for giving a smile. Or all of a sudden you get a call, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm giving you free tickets to his concert. And you're like, and if you track it, like, in some ways you're like, God, that's so interesting. Like, I just offer this whole thing. Like, why did that happen? And you go back and you're like, bank account of all the things that you've been, giving and being in service of. And you start to realize, wow, thank you. Thank you, universe, for reflecting back to me what my open heart has been doing out there in the world. And so it's like the cause and effect. It's the karmic flow of how things happen. So when you want to be more aligned and you want to be in that place of true giving, know that you will be recognized. We live in a mirror of a world. And so those thoughts and actions and things that are dominant within you at some point are going to be reflected back to you. It just comes in like the most miraculous ways. And so here in the TFP, at the bottom of page 85, when we say giving feels more natural than receiving, it's so true, and that's another thing that we talk about at some point here in the TFP is once you get really good at giving, then it becomes your turn of allowing yourself to receive from others who want to give to you. And so it's a natural effect to learn. And so at this point, I'm going to pass it back over to Val so she can talk you to the next key element of giving from an open heart.
Well, before we switch from page 85, there's a quote highlighted here that you begin to understand how your personal purpose is flowing through in every moment.
Yes.
And so, just to kind of continue on, when you're just in that natural flow and authentically giving from your core way of being, your heart, what really does open up from that, and you can see how, the alignment with, or you can see, what it is you're truly passionate about come to surface from that also, if you're still in discovery of that. So I think, that's really, a key kind of little quote there. I love that you have little quotes highlighted, just like that. And, going into, but how do we apply this to everyday life? We're not necessarily looking to keep count or to track what it is that we are, giving out in the world, because that doesn't work. How do you give freely into the karma bank? Or, how do you continue to find what are you aligned with, and giving to those around you, or, those that are coming into your space naturally, that it flows out from you. And so, I love that, practice giving with an open heart every day of your life, make the first move in every moment. So make the first move in every moment. And here's something kind of also to note is, are you making is that moment from a place of love? And that's one thing I definitely love about the TFP and, Galena, is that, when you lead with love, what really does come out of that? You are vibrating at your highest self. You're impacting those that are around you. And, you are truly just, you're just oozing out. So, if your cup is full, if your heart is full, it will attract everything that it is that you want to call into your life. So make the first move. Take a walk through your neighborhood. Say hello. Be the first to say hello. Mm-hmm. Share a smile. Raise your children. I love this part too. Raise your children to 50,000 yeses and 50,000 no responses instead of the reverse. So say yes to that moment, and what would open up from that. Again, if your heart is aligned with it also, if it feels good, you have to check in with that as well. And so, sharing, and you touched upon this, sharing love without any expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're not looking to take note and to drop down, but really just to be in a place of giving and in a place of love and what comes out of that. And so I'll share another quick story because I babysat a 3-year-old last night.
Wow.
And my girlfriend, called me last minute, said her babysitter fell through and she had a date. She's a single mom. And, I was like, I'm Auntie Val. So I was like, yeah, like I'll come in and help. And, her 3-year-old is still very attached. And so it was an interesting dynamic when she left, because she gave me attitude, didn't want to talk to me. And I was like, okay, first I was giving her love. And then, I was like, fine, okay, well, she's a 3-year-old, so I'll just sit here and start reading. And as soon as I stopped paying attention to her, she, came back to me with like, can we play? And can we do this? And, by the end of the night, we were cuddling, as she's falling asleep, and I'm reading her bedtime stories. And I not woke up, but this morning my girlfriend sent me a text saying how grateful she was, to have me in her life, that her daughter woke up so joyous and happy, and that she got to hang out with Auntie Val, which has, never been the case because she's just starting to try out this babysitting thing. So, but to receive that just made my heart so warm. Mm-hmm. And to know that I was just, really just coming from a place of love and support, what shows up. I'm not looking to get anything in return, but that sweet text of just how grateful she was. And Layla, her name's Layla, woke up in a great mood, for spending time with me. And, it's just like, like, thanks, universe. My heart's full today.
Totally.
And so passing it back to you, Nove.
I love that. And and this section actually reminded me around making the first move in every moment too. Because so many things happen throughout the day. Mm-hmm. And I love that idea, like in that moment when you can actually, you're in that place of, do I choose fear or choose love? And if you lead with love and you choose love in every moment and you make the first move, like you're taking that action and you're showing the universe, that you're a stand for being in this place of giving. So if you're a stand for being in this place of giving, then all your heart's desires and wishes and dreams are going to be stand for receiving as well, because all of those whispers will be answered by you being in a giving place. And so part of all of the practices around the mirrors of the Total Female package is around teaching and around understanding. Once you get these concepts and these ideas and this way of being, is actually teaching these things. And so I always follow through the flow of around teach the power of giving. Like, don't talk about it, be giving, like be that example, show up in a way where you can be that like cause for somebody else to follow suit. And I noticed a little while ago that our beauty of a girl, Ana Naturalista, popped on here. And I would love for her, if she's able to chat and get online, for her to share some of the ways that she has just made the first move, and she chooses love and she gives. And I know that there was a recent moment she talked about, because this next section really goes into listing 3 ways you can teach the power of giving. And if you follow Ana, she's very in tune with the universe, the cosmos, and angels and guides, and she's definitely put on this planet to really be like a light angel for all of us to watch, observe, see how she reacts to things, see how she moves energy through certain situations. And if you ever follow her on her Facebook page, you'll see that these moments tend to come up for her, whether she's at a gas station helping a man put gas in his car, or giving him money to get on a bus. So Ana, can you hop on right now and share maybe a couple ways in which you've taken a stand for giving the past several weeks? Because I know there's probably 10 more I don't even know about.
Yes, and thank you for that, Novi. I so appreciate that beautiful introduction. And there's, a couple of ways actually that showed up this week, and even with my private clients, that they are so used to having a guide or an advisor or coach or whatever you want to call it, that they're locked into a specific package. You get this many minutes of a phone call a week, you get 10 text messages, and you get one email, and that's all. And that's something that I absolutely refuse to put in a box, because especially when people are going through a crucial moment and experience in their life, it's you can't put conditions of limitation around that. And what I was explaining to one of my client here in Germany, or over there, wherever we are, and she's Libra. She's very analytical. She does numbers and marketing all day, and she's like, I know I'm stepping out of the boundaries of our contract, and da 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 da. And I was like, throw that contract out the window, just pour it on. How do I need to where do you need support right now? What kind of time? I'm not counting minutes, I'm not counting text messages, let's go. And I explained to her that in releasing that condition that she had put basically on herself, and that limitation of allowing herself to share, because she felt that I, or the universe reflecting around her, was only conditioned to give back a certain amount of what she was putting out into the world. So I helped her understand. And there's actually a study out there where these physicists who are able to measure different frequencies of love expression, of joy, of harmony, of gratitude. They're able to measure this now, right? And so they have proven that the act of giving love, the act of being of service, is 10 times more powerful in creating the frequency of love and joy than from the receiving end. So the receiver feels happy and joyful and everything else, but the giver, the creator of that energy going forward and putting it out into the universe, creates such a more massive field of that energy and abundance. So it keeps it in constant flow and revolving. So that's just like a little frequency backup on that too.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it's so on point too. And the conclusion around this mirror says, giving with an open heart provides a universal connection to all beings. It creates a world for you filled with the possibility of realizing your dreams and allowing others to be part of them with you. When you practice the art of giving, you are crafting your openness to receiving. Giving is fun. Find a way to give, then feel the joy in your heart expand. And that's exactly like that energy that Anna was just talking about, like the creator of the moment, of the giving moment, making the first move. Like when you, like what Tony was saying, when you give, you grow. It's like your heart expands. Like, and that's part of the journey every day, is how can we love more? How can we love deeper? How can we be love in every moment? And so giving is a key element in that. When you give without expectation, you're loving without expectation. You're putting out there this fantastic tune and atonement of energy into your field, into others' field, and it causes a ripple that we can't always see with our sensory perception, but our higher beings feel, and they understand that connection. And it's like if you're in a dark room and all of a sudden like little flickers of matches start going off, like at a concert's like such like a good thing when like you're at a concert and the artists are like, oh, encore, they've said their last set, they're about to walk off stage, and like they have the whole audience go dark, and then you get people like shouting, and then they light a candle, and then all of a sudden these little lights pop up or their phones pop up because they want to hear more from this amazing musical collection of people on stage. That's what the heart of happens to you when you're giving. It's like all these little beings you're connected to start to pop online, and your energy and the frequency you're sending out with that natural way of just being so in tune with the art of giving starts to actually perpetuate really good energy on the universe. It's a ripple effect, and it's what I know all of us women on this call strive for. So, so that's what this mirror is about, and it's honing in on the simplicity of giving and being authentic in your giving and what it can do for others as well as do for your own world and life that you're creating. So a few practices at the end of this mirror that we encourage you to go through is spend an hour, simple practices. These are always made to be simple, and you can elevate them in your own way as you want to really practice them more. But one is spend an hour each week and walk around your neighborhood saying hi or smiling like Val does all the time to every person you be in the street, or call a friend and ask how you can support them. These are really simple ways that put you in that energy of giving. And I love doing this, and I do this every so often. I probably could do more of it, but I do send, I send kind, like for me now, since texting is so big and in the world of like our phones, like one click at a time, like I used to send anonymous cards to loved ones and tell them why they're so wonderful and appreciated. I leave them on their doorstep. I leave them on their car window. And now with everyone being everywhere around the world and it all expanding, every once in a while when something inspires me and somebody's in my thought frequency, I will take like a really fun quote from Google Images or whatever that I've saved on my phone, and I'll just send them a quick little image to let them know that I'm thinking about them. It's usually an inspirational quote. And for me, that's my way of sending them like my own version of love. And the moment to let them know I'm thinking about you, and here's the message I have for you that I was told in some fantastic way the universe works to give you today. So, so those are a couple ways to practice that are simple and don't take too much time, this art of giving. And I don't know, ladies, any other shares or stories or questions that you'd want to get into?
I just have another share. I was just going to type it there, but it's you were tapping and talking about the energy of expectations, and that's something that our society has been conditioned to feel that what you put out will you should expect a return on. It's like an investment of your energy that a lot of people think, oh, well, if I do this for that person, then that specific person should give whatever it is back to me in a certain way, right? And that can only lead to disappointment. But when you're putting it out into the grandeur, into the big vessel of the whole universe, without any expectation, without any limitation of what type of return should come from, then you're exponentializing that energy again. And one of the ways that that this is a practice in, I forget where now, but my friend Mishi, Philippines, it's called haiku. And haiku are inspired acts of giving gratitude with no expectation in return. And so what he did a few years ago was 100 days of haiku. And he would just randomly surprise someone with a beautiful thank you note and all the ways that he's grateful for them in their life, and how they show up for their friends, for their family, for the universe. And without any expectation, just here's my love and gratitude for who you are in this world. And what came from that was not only a beautiful marriage, an incredible little baby being, and this business where he went from being struggling as like a salsa dancing teacher to being on Good Morning America doing like kangaroo baby dancing and all kinds of cute stuff that he couldn't have imagined. Right. And that's what the return is better than you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. That's such a good reminder of being in that state of authentic giving and then receiving however it's meant to come back to you, and not feeling it needs to come back through that one being. That's the whole idea around once you are in that art of giving, then you're connected to all beings. So no matter if it's like I did something, for Anna this week, that doesn't necessarily mean that Anna is the one to return the appreciation. Like I might receive it then in a few days, in a few weeks, whatever it was later on from somebody I'm in co-working relationship with, my partner, my mom, my dad, like, even something different, like what he experienced. But when you're just doing it in a way that's so in tune with your soul's mission and heart, oh my gosh, how much the world opens up to you and is showing you the heartbeat of how we're all together in this. So that's our mirror on opening your giving heart. If any of you beauties have any comments or questions, we can go through that now, or we could all give some love on this call to Miss Anna. I know you were taking off hopefully very soon, if not already, from Bali, away from the volcano that's been all over the place, told that it's going to be erupting. I think you're getting out just in time. Is that true?
Yes, my Wi-Fi keeps pretending to cut out, but we're giving it love. So, and that's another thing that that has been really magical to experience here, because right now, just in this past week, in fact, last night we got to hang out with Jess Johnson and John and Eden and their crew that's out here on a spiritual shamanic retreat, and a few other groups of people, and we had such a unified intention and prayer to Mama Gaia. And we didn't put we had an intention without expectation, two very, very different things. And put forth, we understand that Mama Gaia needs to release this pressure. We understand the world is in a changing field and frequency. However, we love you so much that you don't need to explode and cause like major trauma and drama, right? So there's been such a beautiful unified collective here on the island, all of the Indonesian islands where the Ring of Fire is, and several volcanoes are expected, or the seismic measures of scientists show that they're supposed to have these very catastrophic eruptions. But we're not believing that. We're saying, okay, our intention is to love this space so much. We are all here for a reason. We are all here to give the divine love energy that we know we have in gratitude for the earth, that we just felt like, okay, none of us planned this to orchestrate our timing so that we were all here at the same time, yet we are. Plus, some other friends from different parts of the world just happened to be here at this time. So and then all of the locals that are doing the collections for the refugees that have been displaced from the evacuations, now over 100,000 people just on Bali. So there's, again, a really profound request from all of these beings, from the planet, from the universe, for our giving and or creation of that love to be put in that infinite receptacle of that energy, which is like a vortex. And once you put that in, it spins and it grows and it levels up from there. And that is exactly what we noticed as soon as we all got clear on, okay, we're not trying to stop this thing, but we do want to harmonize it, and we know how to do it with our loving intentions of just giving unconditionally without any expectation of how it's supposed to show up. And again, it's better than we could have imagined how not only it unified our groups and our friendships and our closeness even more, but that of and with all of the locals and the elemental energies in this area. So it's been really, really beautiful and profound.
Talk about one of the most amazing natural experiences to be in the presence of. Like when other people are watching this all happen, like the collective of people that are there right now, the shamanistic, beautiful, heart-opened people who are there right now to lovingly like caress this volcano and this Mama Earth to know that, we don't hold you any harm, and we totally understand that you're just pissed off a little bit. And so if you got to release, but we're here to still hold you in love regardless. Like, what a beautiful expression of light workers on the planet all being there at the same time. It's pretty profound.
It's profound and magical. And if You also noticed, I forget what the first big hurricane was that came through, and they were expecting, again, the scientists who had these expectations out there that didn't happen, but they were expecting 50-foot waves all the way up to North Carolina. And let alone, they expected Florida to get completely just wiped out. And what happened? A Category 5, granted it ripped through Puerto Rico, unfortunately, and the Virgin Islands and Bahamas pretty good, but the Category 5 that they expected to hit Florida so violently was downsized into a tropical storm by the time it made landfall in that area, and had very minimal damage compared to what they had projected. So again, that came from these massive unified intentions of creating that love and directing it in a specific intention.
Exactly. And just like that, you too can do this for your own life, your own vision, your own world, in all the areas of life that you want to manifest and create something in. Give of yourself without expectations in the area of your spiritual life, your health, your personal relationships, professional relationships, your career. Follow that tone of authentic giving and just watch how things unfold for you. You are the total female package. You are rising in this acknowledgement every day by tuning into these calls, connecting the consciousness with these women, and going through the practices. You are already rising that essence of who you are to liberate itself within you, so that you can take these steps in your authentic shoes every day. So we are so happy that you joined us this week. Next week for week 9, we're going to be talking about, now that we've opened up the heart and understand giving, we're going to talk about reflecting true love in your life every day. So be sure to tune in, because like Esther and Abraham and all those wonderful people, we want you to be tuned in and turned on to your own expression of true love. And we so welcome every woman, every friend of yours on here to join us. And so grateful for Valerie and Samantha and Anna and all those other ones who will be watching at some point later tonight for joining us today. You are the total female package, and we're here to help you own it, live it, and share it. So we'll see you next week. Ciao for now. Lots of love.